There we go. Come on in, everybody. Wait for everybody to join us, and Alvin will be along in a few. Bella May. Hello, hello. Just waiting on everybody to join. Hello, Trainwreck. How's it going? Hello, Keegan. How's it going? I'm draining, and that's causing dizziness and a headache and all that. So, thank goodness I can't spread it on YouTube. No, you're not first. Trainwreck is first on my end. How you doing, Keegan? Everything going okay? Trainwreck, how you feeling? Shows me it's first. Goodness. I'm telling you, this stuff is starting to drain now. It's making me dizzy. Hello, Mountain Sparrow. It's okay. Things are finally going back to normal. Good deal. Supposed to have surgery on Tuesday, and I declined. Hello, Miss Sherry. Hello, Beans. I'm at work, but listening. Got it. You be careful getting that, playing in that hot water. How you doing, Sherry? Hi, Mimi. I'm I'm getting there. But the draining is making me feel, you know, I think I've caused so much rawness. It is yucky. Now I start my new job tomorrow, and so I'm hoping I can get a lot of this out, but I don't know. It's been a slow process. Hello, Amber. How's it going? Begin the live. And guess what? Guess what? Did you have those scans? Get the Puffs Plus. I'm telling you, it has just made my nose so raw. Drives me nuts. Oh, I'm telling you. Hello, Johnny. How's it going? I'm not. Yay! That is good. Everybody, we got to give her a win. A win for Amber. She is not stage 4 right now. That is a win. I'm gonna start at Hilton. Everybody give Amber a W. She deserves that. That's a hell of a fight when you're in the midst of cancer. Okay, so everybody, we're going to have Alvin on tonight. They'll give you a chance to get to know him. I thought this would be kind of fun to do once every couple weeks. You know, bring on a member of our community, get to know them. As the title says, in this case, Alvin, we want to know what makes him tick. Um, get to learn how his life is. You know what I mean? Oh, looky there. Thank you, Keegan. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, Diane Garcia, do you remember me? We have a lot of Dianes. I'm not sure I do, but welcome anyway. So anyway, it's just a way to get to know everybody. We had Alvin on for a short time on New Year's Eve when we rang in the Eastern time zone. And everybody has been saying, put Alvin back on there. So Alvin and I got with Alvin and we decided we are humans first, no matter opinions, politics, so kind. That's right. That's right. But anyway, we want. There's a lot of people that want to get to know Alvin a little better, and I thought, you know what, that's a really good way for us to just get to know each other a little bit better. This community has really been a great addition, I guess, to my life. It's been a long road. YouTube is not an easy. It's not an easy thing to do, and I'm grateful for everybody who's become a part of my channel, whether you're on the lives or you watch the videos or whatever. So yeah, it's just a matter of getting to know everybody. Hello, Mimi. Y'all should do me next. I'll do a video call and show you all the fam. Okay. Well, it's not a video call. It's you actually come on the live with us, Keegan. I gotta blow my nose. And it's Fun Chat Channel. Thank you. Scarlet. Now I remember the name Scarlet. I do remember that. I'll need you to email me, Keegan. All right, well, where's Alvin at? Alvin! Somebody needs to manifest him. We got an inch of ice on everything with 3 inches on top of it, and snow's still coming down. It's 16 degrees. You know it's bad when they shut down. Yeah. What did you say, Amber? Okay, here we go. We're gonna add Alvin in. What's up?
What's up? How y'all doing?
We're doing okay. Everybody, this is Alvin, or I don't even remember your big old long name, but it's Hope for
Oh,
Change.
yeah, it's hope for change. Love everyone you see.
There you go. What time is it for you, Grandma? It is 8:11 p.m. 8:11 p.m.
And 9/11 here.
Alvin, how are you, sir? Bean says.
Wearing a beanie in your honor, Mr. Beans.
There you go. We got him hooked on them beanies now. Yes. Everybody say hello. Um, I was
I'm
you. I don't know.
sharing.
Did you share? Did you hear what I was saying, or were you not able to? Because I don't know.
Um, yes, ma'am. I was able to hear everything.
Okay. Um, I
I was
guess
trying to get
since I
everything
can't.
set up.
I guess since I can't sleep. Hello, Tori. Not a peach beanie, I see. A Texas. Are you back home, Amber? That's awesome. So, Alvin, why don't you just kind of introduce yourself and tell everybody about yourself and let them know, like the title says, what makes you tick?
Yes, ma'am. Um, my real name's Alvin. Was named after my dad's best friend. Um, just a guy he met when he was in the military, and then when he got out, he ended up getting cancer and passed away. And in remembrance, when I was born, he ended up giving me his name. And then later on in life, I thought it was pretty cool. I found out that the name Alvin actually does mean friend. So
That's
that's pretty
neat.
cool. But I
Hi,
live in Kentucky.
OG. Sorry.
I live in Kentucky. Uh, Born and raised, been here my entire life. I've traveled out West Coast once. I went all the way out to Seattle. Never go to that place again. It rains way too much up there. And then I've been to East Coast over in the Carolinas. I went to Myrtle Beach. Uh, my daughter Carmen's mom, that's where her parents lived at the time. And we went up there, visit with them after Christmas. We decided to go to Myrtle Beach, chill. And she ended up walking herself in labor. So my daughter ended up being born in the Carolinas.
Isn't that funny how that works out?
Yeah. Well, what's even more wild is the city she was actually born in was still the same city that I live in now. So I live in Lexington, Kentucky. She was born in Lexington, uh, North
So,
Carolina.
North
Lexington,
Carolina.
South Carolina. Lexington, South Carolina. Apologize.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That is
So I thought that
different.
was pretty cool.
Hi, Justin. Alvin is with us tonight. We're going to take some time to get to know him as one of our members. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and put them up, and I will do my best to make sure we get to all of them, or as many as possible if you guys overload us. Hello, Nikki. The whole crowd is here. The whole
That is
crowd is
awesome.
coming in, Alvin.
Hi, Tori. Hi, Nikki. Let me see. Let me see. Let's see what we got.
We got Justin and Beans, Keegan, OG stopped for a minute. Uh,
Oh, you do got the whole bunch. Even Miss Tori's on there.
yeah, Tori's here. Sean is here. Amber is here. We got them all. Alvin, where's my man? Or where's my name?
Amber. She didn't believe me, did she? She don't believe me, does she?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Any,
Amber, there it is.
yeah.
There it is.
So she would have lost the bet. She definitely would have lost the bet.
That's funny. That's funny.
Right.
Hi,
Mhm.
Jordan.
But in case any of y'all wasn't here for the live stream that I joined for our time zone for New Year's, I have three kids. My oldest is 22. Middle child, she's 17. She's a girl, and then my youngest is 12, and she's uh, she's a character. Miss Nevaeh, yeah, that
Should
last
we
born.
just become best friends? Amber says.
Nice.
Nikki says, I'm here because I can't sleep and feeling down. Well, we don't want you feeling down. What you feeling down about?
What's going on, Miss Nikki?
Actually, I kind of got to admit, last night I was feeling pretty down myself. I need to get back out there and do the Uber, but all this training is making me dizzy, and I'm
Right.
afraid to drive. I don't
I
want to hit
understand.
somebody when I get dizzy.
Yeah, we just started getting some snow here.
Oh, see, we are still in warm temperatures. We're still in some warm temperatures here. It's crazy.
Definitely in the freezing.
But they say we're supposed to get some cooler weather. Um, we still haven't had any measurable snowfall here this year, this season. Yes,
Beans is
everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to be a part of our group.
Beans asked how good I was at pool. They got what they call a Fargo rating, which is a national rating for your how you shoot. Mine is a 415 right now, but I just got back in the pool February, like end of January, early February of 25. So not doing too bad. Um, if you're not any good, I can probably beat you.
I wonder if he's any good at it.
You any good at shooting pool, Beans? But yeah, if you go over to my webpage, I've got a couple of shots. I got like 3 videos up, 2 videos up. And
On
check
your
it out.
YouTube channel?
Yes, ma'am. I got one where I did a 3 rail bank shot in a tournament on a 9 ball, and then I got a break, and then a win video. There was a part one, part two that I played the owner of the actual bar, and he plays on one of the teams for our league. I
Justin
almost.
says he has a pool table in his garage.
Uh-oh. Well, if you ever make it through Kentucky, then we can play.
There you go, Justin. If you ever get to Kentucky, maybe you two can get connected and have a good game of pool.
That'd be nice.
I've never really been that great at it. Never. He said, I'll definitely hit you up. He said, I've hustled a few suckers out of $20.
Hey, Sean. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to catch up with his feed. I don't know why there's a delay on this other one. Miss Tori, Miss Sherry,
Tori said, it's
Minnie.
not warm, but during the day, it's not horrible. And that's what I meant.
Mm, yeah,
uh,
Johnny. Johnny Nightball is what like I grew up on. Like I was on a pool table from 13 or 14 up until I was like 21, 22, and then did some small tournaments. But then I stepped away, did bowling for a while. But then I busted my hand, broke these 2 metacarpals. I don't know if you can see that scar, but that big scar right there. When it healed, they healed on top of each other. And then the doctor had to go in and re-break them and then put 2 pins in and went all the way across all 4 of these to get it set in place. But I had to get away from bowling, and then a friend of ours had a spot open up on his league play, so I joined in last year. Actually, our first league game is this Thursday. Might try to
so
get a
I'm not
couple.
sure. I'm not sure what Sherry's comment. She says she's been on a pool table before.
Dancing with a drink in your hand does not count, ma'am.
Oh, that's funny. That's a great response.
What's up, Nate? How you doing?
Hello, Nate. Eh, she's like, oh, I get it now, Sean says.
So yeah, I like that idea you have. grandma about bringing in people every now and again and getting the community to get to you know know a little bit about everybody. I'm pretty simple. I come from a small city. It was like
Hi, Tiffany.
seven
Sorry.
7,000. Hi, Freeway Girl. Oh, Miss Grandma needs your email address. I sent her a
Yeah,
prayer. To
Freeway Girl, I have a prayer for you. If you want to email me, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, get that
Um,
together for you.
Sherry be the fun of the party. On the 23rd, I get a new bed and sofa, and eventually I get help with hoarding and see if my flat gets condemned.
Oh goodness, Nikki. Well, I don't want to say that's bad news or good news, but maybe it's a situation that it'll put you into where you don't have to worry about what you've been having to worry about here lately.
Yeah.
Sometimes bad things can be a blessing. So,
Yeah.
but you're welcome, Freeway Girl. Definitely, one thing I don't mind to talk about is something spiritual because spiritual warfare a lot of people won't believe in because they get so tied up in religion and who's right, who's wrong, and sometimes it's just really ain't that serious. Sometimes it's just who you are is the spiritual you. How you connect with the world is the spiritual you. You know what I mean?
Mm.
This is just tools that we use to experience all this. Eyes, ears, hands, feet.
So tell us about your work. Tell us about your work, and then tell us about your life and all of that kind of stuff. And like I said, anybody, if you have any questions, put them out there so he can answer those. Hello, Mimi.
Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, I think that's a real topic for me. But yeah, like I said, I grew up in a small town, like 7,000 people when I, grew up in the town I was in. Farm life was mostly just about anything you can do. Uh, Done my fair share of cutting tobacco, housing tobacco, throwing hay bales. Um, I actually just learned a lot about a little bit of everything. That's the cool thing about small cities. People actually sit down and talk and have a life and tell you about life sometimes. So I guess I got an old soul. I hung out with a lot of older people at a young age. Like I remember riding on a tobacco wagon tongue, and our Aunt Allie was giving us cups of coffee to keep us awake at like 6 o'clock in the morning while mom and dad was doing their thing on the wagon loading and getting it put together. But yeah, it was a little difficult finding identity in the city I grew up in because there wasn't a lot of black people, but there really wasn't hardly any mixed kids. So I got just as much difficulty from black people as I did white people because I wasn't one or the other. So
Really?
yes, ma'am. Like people don't understand how hard it is. Like being biracial. I mean, it is unique because we get to see both worlds. We really can't have a prejudiced view because we have to identify with our white family as much as we do our black family, regardless of what our birth certificates say. Because
I
it takes the
struggled.
identity.
I've struggled with that myself. I have nephews and a niece that are mixed, and
Mhm.
they always adopt the black side of their culture, and then it's like the white side is just not. It's just not even worth their time, even though um, they're still a part of them as well.
Mhm.
And I've
Yes, ma'am.
always struggled with that, and I've often wondered if they aren't pressured.
What do you mean?
I've often wondered if they're not pressured to adopt the black culture rather than the white culture.
Oh, I see what you're
I've
saying.
seen so many interviews with mixed young people. They're all adults, but they're young adults, and they say, I'm black. I'm black." Well, what about your white culture? Well, what about it? It don't matter. And
Right.
and I'm going, it does matter because that's
Mhm.
part of who you are. And I've
Mhm.
always felt like, to be honest with you, I've always felt like mixed kids are the answer to racism.
They are. You're absolutely correct.
In my opinion. I mean, that's just me. But I just feel like the mixed kids can be that answer to racism. they're the in between, and they can say, no, you are important and you are important. You
Yes,
know what
ma'am.
I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
My
And that
cousins are half white and half black. They are unique, half and half, representing both well, in my opinion. Good deal. Yeah, I've always felt that. I don't know. Um, Kids are just kids. Race doesn't matter, and it shouldn't matter. The
correct.
unfortunate part is in today's day and age, it seems like it is. Me, I wasn't brought up that way.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
that's why when we come back to this, when we go what I consider backwards, because my generation, when we were growing, we didn't care if you were black, Asian, Mexican, we didn't care, Hispanic of any kind. All we cared about was, are you going to be a part of our crowd, or are you going to be, the bully or the jerk we need to beat up because
Right.
you're being mean to everybody around here.
Yes, ma'am.
And when we had to come together, we came together. We did what we had to do. So when I see us go in a world where that didn't matter, backwards to a world where suddenly it matters again. And you've seen some of the comments on here. I won't put up with it. I think it's a bunch of hooey, and I think it's wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
And I won't put up with it. But I've often wondered, and I never thought to kind of touch on that subject, but I liked how you brought that up because it is difficult in a way. I think even for them, um, they probably feel like the white culture doesn't accept them, but for me, that's the farthest from the truth. I think they have a very important role.
Yes, ma'am.
M-
Well,
Maybe
as
I'm
long
maybe I'm seeing it weird.
no, it's not weird. It's just you can only identify with what you experience for yourself. Like me, my situation's different. Um, my grandfather just chose not to be a part of our life because my mom had dated a black man. But my grandmother wasn't, she was more of a 50-50. I think once she saw us, she had a different opinion about it. But yeah, it's you told me to talk about who I am, and that was a big part of what made me who I am today. Is trying to find what I should identify with. That's why I love the simplicity of Christ because we're part of that second fold, even though it's the Gentiles. It wasn't a color thing that he said, but the second fold was included in with the first fold, which makes us all one. So finding identity in Christ made life a lot easier for me and helped me accept, the black people that judge me because I had white heritage and, the white people that judge me because I did have black heritage. And to be honest with you, I've say I've not experienced a racial side of life after I, got older, like after 16, 17, 18, because I think my personality of who I was as a person really didn't make them see a color in me. You know
See,
what I
and
mean?
that's what I feel. I feel like it's all about who you are.
Yeah.
Um, if you're going to come in here as a white person and treat people like dog crap, I don't like you. If you're going to
Yes,
come
ma'am.
in here as a black person, same goes for you. If you're going to treat people like crap, we don't like you. And same with Hispanic. It doesn't matter. I just hold everybody to the same standard.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
think that as we get older, I just feel like they think about it too much as a youngin'.
Yes.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe that's just how I'm perceiving it. But I personally think mixed people are the answer, whether you're black and Hispanic or black and white and Hispanic.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. I just feel like they can play a pivotal part in mending those bridges if they wanted.
Yes, ma'am. But I think even though I like to work, I think what made me push more towards using my hands in life, like construction work and things and building stuff, My dad always told me that if I wasn't going to use my brain and learn stuff and go that way in life and go to college and get a career, that I'd better learn how to use my hands. So I spent my life learning how to do anything. Like I can build fences, I can install car stereos, rebuild boat motors, um, any kind of electrical work. My uncle, he was a master electrician, so I learned a little bit from him on summers. And um,
Now, is your dad's side the white side or the black side?
black side. And actually, I
Really?
think you would enjoy talking with my dad because,
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah, that's the funniest conversation I can ever remember having with him. We was up at my aunt's up in Newport. We always used to go up there for Thanksgiving and stuff. And there's this one niece of his, cousin of ours, that is always into the whole Africa, and we have to be called African Americans and our heritage. And anyway, my dad, which is like something that just blew my mind, he responded. He said, "Don't be calling me no African American. They probably don't even like me over there." He said, "I was born in America. I fought in the Korean conflict as an American." He said, "I'm an American." He said, "Ain't nothing
Exactly. I
African
don't
about
get
me."
that. And I think that is a construct of the government, to be honest. And then
Yeah.
the people just kind of went on with it. And I'm guilty of it too. But, I just don't. I'm sorry. You're not African American. I'm sorry. If you were born here, you're an American.
Yeah.
You
But
are a part of America.
yeah,
There's no
that
African
was
to it. They don't even know you. They'd probably, heck, they don't even want you, especially if you are mixed with any kind of white anything,
some
because a lot of those Africans are like, this is our way. So yeah, I would definitely enjoy that conversation.
another one, like in my small town, from you can live anywhere in city limits and walk to the schools because it's so small, everything's so close. My dad wouldn't even let me go to school other than on a bus because a bus passed him to and from school when he was growing up. Like back when he was, going to school, black kids couldn't ride a bus.
Yeah.
So I
So
had the
he sees
opportunity to
things
ride.
in a different way.
Yeah, so he told me, he said, my taxes pay for you to ride that bus, you riding that bus. I'm like, well, alrighty then.
Freeway
Might as well.
said, Freeway Girl said, I'm half Japanese and half white. We only learned the white side and discouraged to even be seen as Japanese at all.
And that's sad because that
Yeah.
whole nation is the most tranquil people I've ever read about or met in my life. Like them people are so chill. Like that whole heritage. Like they're so in vibe with nature and people and I don't know. I like that heritage.
Yeah, I think that, if you are a mixed kid, you should know both sides.
Yes,
That's the
ma'am.
way I feel about it. You should know the culture on both sides. And I believe that makes you smarter anyway,
Yeah,
you
it shapes
know.
who you are as a person. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
don't hold anything back. Like, this is who I am. Like, my dad, he comes from a family with three brothers, five sisters, lived in a shack, you know, porta potty or the outhouses. Um, like one of his sister had 16 kids. Like, it's a large knit family, but you know, my white family side is just as large. Like my uncle's three kids. He's got three boys, and then my mom's got two boys. And the cool thing about it is all five of us are exactly 2 years apart.
Oh
So
my.
if we ever want to know somebody's not, age, birthday, or how old they are, just where are their placement and when they was
Yeah,
born.
look at the placement.
Everybody's two
So,
years apart.
tell us about your spiritual journey. It's such a controversial thing, but it isn't to me.
Uh,
And I don't want there to be controversy, but at the same time, I think this is something that needs to be shared. There's a lot of us that come up messed up. Your story is pretty remarkable in that way. We get into trouble, we get into a mess, and then we find God, and everything starts to settle down.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I kind of wanted to hear a bit about your spiritual journey and how it brought you to a much more peaceful life.
Yes, ma'am. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share a couple moments that were like pivotal in my change. I can't share my whole story right now because the whole thing to the community that I'm about to build, once I'm going to be able to go live, it's going to talk about my whole spiritual journey, and I don't
And
want
that's fine.
the four parts that I gave y'all, the 12 parts, is part of that. That's the reason why I didn't want to share the rest of it because it's kind of like something I've waited a long time to share. But one pivotal moment is when I was going through that moment that y'all heard in that story about the whole jail thing. Well, when I had gotten out of jail, I had went and lived back with my brother, and things were okay for a while, but it was getting to the point to where I wasn't doing anything to try to better myself. I wasn't doing anything to help him around the house, and he came in one day and he was like, when you leave, next time you leave, you gotta take all your stuff with you. You know what I mean? I can't stay here no more. And at the moment, I wanted to try to bluff him out, try to make him feel bad, like, hey man, I ain't got nowhere to go, I ain't got no friends, I can't do nothing. So I was like, just take me to a dumpster and I'll throw all my stuff away and you can take me to the homeless shelter. Thinking he'd be like, oh no, never mind, hang on, it'll be okay. But he's like, grab your stuff. And, tough love is, in the moment I didn't see it as tough love, but I'm so
No, of
glad that
course.
I'm so glad that he did that because he took me out to the dumpster, watched me throw what I had that was material in my life away, and then drove me up to the city that I live in now and dropped me off at the homeless shelter because we didn't have those down there where I lived at. And I stayed there for a while, and then I ended up meeting a guy, and he offered me a job making $1,000 a week to go out to Seattle. That's how I ended up out Seattle. Didn't ask him what the job was, just heard $1,000, and I was like, yeah. So I went and talked to my wife.
Hi, Debbie. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. Went and talked to my wife about borrowing some money so that I have something to eat on, to go up there. And I got down to the bus station and met the guy. He gave me the ticket to go out to Seattle, and I was fixing to get on the bus, but I stopped because like I didn't know this guy. I could have been walking into a trap or anything. Like I didn't know what was going on, and I was about to walk away, but I remembered a conversation that I had with the lady. She was probably like 61, 62, and she said the thing that's wrong with kids these days is they don't never want to go outside of where they're at. They believe everything that's for them is right there. Their wife, their career, their job. They never want to just get on a bus and travel or get on a train or a plane or just go somewhere. So in that moment I chose it. I'm gonna take that opportunity and do something. So I did. I drove all the way out to Seattle, called the number that he gave me when I got there. They picked me up, went back to the hotel, showed me the room that I'd be sharing. Then the next day, they told me what I was going to be doing, and it was selling books and magazines door to door. So you can imagine how heartbroken I was because I'm a large black man, and at that time things were already starting to get crazy where people were scamming at the door, and I'm thinking, well, we'll give it a try. So I gave it a try, and for like weeks, I wasn't able to sell one book. People wouldn't even talk to me. They talked to me through the screen door. They talked to me with the door closed, but a couple did actually start talking to me. And then one day I was knocking on this door, and this lady answered. Her name was Miss Alice, and I was trying to con her into selling, buying the books or the magazine, whatever subscription, just trying to tell her whatever. I'm working for any inner city youth and we're raising money and blah, 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 like, whatever I could. But she saw right through my con. And by the time I got done with the conversation, she started talking to me about Jesus Christ and what he had done. And I ended up, you know, giving my life right there at her doorstep, breaking down tears. Then she invited me to church that Sunday with them and exchanged information. They picked me up that Sunday, and when I got there, and I got hearing the pastor talk, and he started talking about Christ and Easter and what the resurrection was, and in that moment was the first moment in my entire life that I had ever realized that Easter wasn't about the bunnies and eggs. Like I had no clue or understood what the resurrection was or anything. Like I'd heard the story but never really connected it, you know. And anyway, when I finally went through that process of the books and magazines and gave up and finally went back to Kentucky, I called my brother, let him know I was back in town, and he had let me know that something that I had thrown away in that dumpster had been brought back to him. And I threw away that Tony Moore had drawn when he was in third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade, because at that moment I knew he was going to be a great artist. And now he's the illustrator of the Walking Dead comics, Tony Moore. And
Oh my.
I threw away pictures. I threw away just personal things that matter to me, and my Bible that my church had given me in 1998 when I graduated high school. And out of everything that I had gotten back, apparently somebody went dumpster diving, pulled that bag of stuff out that I had thrown in there, and going down the road threw out what they didn't want to keep. And one of them was my Bible. And then a pastor at some time had been driving from my hometown back to where he lived in Pendleton County and seen it sitting on the side of the road and realized what it was and just was going to see if it was salvageable. Well, when he opened it up, realized the name that was on it, he had recognized the last name, Porter, because my family, that's where they grew up at. Like we still have 16 acres down in Pendleton County. And he managed to get it back to my brother. And when I took those moments that happened within 4 or 5 months to like a year when I got my Bible back, like I didn't need any proof or facts or is God real or anything, because the evidence of what had happened in that moment, that a pastor had found my Bible that I'd thrown in a dumpster months ago, or that I'd met a lady on a trip that I was supposed to be making $1,000 a week and I didn't even make $1, and found Jesus Christ and accepted him into my life. You know, it's the evidence that Christ has and shows us that lets us know that he's real. That's the reason why I don't really get stuck into the whole religions and, you know, the whole church thing. Like I don't like when people say, well, I don't like this because church did or said or, you know, whatever. You know, we call them the butthurt Christians, but you know what I mean?
Well, and I do get that, but I do have kind of a sad story if you'll indulge me for a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
My
Go ahead.
best friend Deidre got pregnant when she was 16 years old. Up to that point, she was a devout churchgoer. Her mother took her to church from the time she could remember until that day, until that time. And that church ridiculed her, chastised her own mother when she got pregnant.
Mm.
Um, they they tried everything to get her mother to put her in a home, and maybe don't bring her. And so she was rather traumatized by that entire experience, and it only lasted a couple of months before she said, I don't want to ever go to a church again.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
still to this day she won't.
Yes, ma'am. And I understand, you know, that's why I don't really get into the whole religion thing. Like you can even talk with my pastor. Like I'm involved with the church, but I'm more of an online presence because I don't get the religion part, because with what I've read in the Bible, there's a lot of things in there that's not, you know, doesn't
It's not like
match.
it's almost like they're not Bible teaching anymore.
Well,
They're
this one
trying
does.
to come up with their own thought process, and I'm like, that I just can't handle that organized stuff.
Right. Well, that's the reason why. Like, it took me a long time to put some kind of trust in a pastor, but he also knows. Like, me and him's talked back and forth very personally about, you know, my path to following Christ, and you know, I believe the most comfort I got was, when I actually got to the passage where it talks about, him bringing a second fold with him, like finding identity in him. And, after that, like finding identity in love was just impossible to deny after that. I mean? That's why I'm so chill, relaxed, um, good to talk to. Like, I've had my wife's friends bring their sons by for me to talk with, what I mean, to give them encouragement because I don't like preach to them. Like I don't consider a pastor or a teacher or anything like that. I'm just a spiritual man that, has a lot of knowledge about, a walk with the Holy Spirit. I mean, that's one thing I take 100% serious. Like it's not a joke. It's not a, some idea of somebody or what my thought is about who God is or anything. It's just what God has revealed to me in my journey. But like I said, once I'm able to go live and talk about my whole story, like it'll really make sense about why I am where I'm at.
Debbie said Jesus came against religion. You a form and a fashion don't cut it with him. I
You're correct.
agree. I think that he wanted us together, but he didn't intend for this religion to preach this interpretation, this one to preach this interpretation, this one to whatever they just thought was right. And I just feel like it's all been lost. It's not about the Bible, and I wish I could find some place that I could, even online. Every time I feel like I can, then they venture off within a month. I'm not kidding.
Yes,
Within a
ma'am.
month, they are venturing off into some kind of no. I no, that is not what the Bible is. That is not what the Bible says. I mean, and I am amazed how many people who claim to be Christian truly have no idea what the Bible teaches. They only know what a man told them
Yes, ma'am.
at the pulpit, and it wasn't even fact. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that, but I feel like that organized religion is
No,
not
I understand. Like,
a
for example,
manipulation tool. Yeah, being said organized religion has become a manipulation tool.
like for example, like this is a book that I threw in the dumpster. Like I still have it. I didn't read this until 2023 of like September until like June of 2024 when I finished. Like I didn't like because what it was is I opened up this book when I first got it, and it was like in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, or heaven and the earth. If I couldn't believe those words, to me there just wasn't no sense to reading anymore. And I went out on a spiritual walk to find out if God actually did create the heaven and the earth. And I can't find anything that they could have else created it, I should say. What I
Yeah.
mean? I don't, like it's
I don't
awesome.
know.
Like
I just feel like it's everybody has, there's been verses in my life that have obviously been pivotal. Second Timothy 4 verse 7. That one became very pivotal during my daughter's battle.
yes, ma'am.
There's been Jeremiah 29:11. It just seems like, and if you go and take some time and learn the Bible, sometimes that organized religion is, you're going to see through it. You know what I mean? So anyway, go ahead with your story. I didn't mean to
No, you
interrupt you with my thought drama.
no, you're good. I really couldn't go much more past that without revealing like a lot of things that's happened. But um I guess understanding that God is love and then stop referencing that word to love to the way I've heard people use it. Like I've heard people say, I love my wife, I love my dog, I love my car, but then at the same time turn around and say, I only love black people, I only love white people, I only love. So it's kind of like the word's so controversial on like, does it really have a true meaning? But then when I read in the Bible where it said God is love, then you learn to understand to put respect on it, and it's more of a
See, Debbie brought up the 3:16. Um, I think that that's an important verse, but I think what it does is it keeps us focused on one thing, and so then
Mhm.
people don't have to learn about Jesus.
Right.
And that's why I'm like, we can cherish that one, but we have to venture out and learn who Jesus is, because people think Jesus was this murderer.
Mm.
Christians are murderers. I mean, obviously, this is the educational system twisting so many things, but I feel like um, Jesus is not known. And they say, know Jesus and make him known. And that's our job as Christians. And
Okay.
so we can cherish this verse. And I do cherish it, Debbie, but I think that's what happens is we focus on this and that's all that matters, but nobody gets to know who Jesus is.
Right.
And that's the struggle that I have seen. We all came from two people God made. Everyone is related. Alvin, we are all cousins. There you go. Debbie said that.
Well, I will be like I'll probably be the first person that you've heard say this, but me myself, I don't identify as what somebody would call Christ, a Christian. The reason why is because when I read in the Bible of why they were called Christians down in Antioch, it's because they reflected the image of Christ that did the things that Christ did. So I was talking to this lady at work one time, and she talked about it was a coincidence, that I was talking about God or whatnot. But I try to tell her, life is no coincidence.
Mm-mm.
And she asked me, she said, "Are you a Christian?" And I told her no. I said, "I'm not a Christian. I don't want to sit here and tell you that I'm Christ-like and reflect that image, but then I go outside and you see me smoke a cigarette, or you see me, do something that is not Christ-like. But do I follow Jesus Christ? Am I in construction? Am I trying to, you know, be the best reflection of love that He is? Yeah, I try every day, but I won't call myself a Christian because I don't 100% reflect that image. And do you know she still let me come my pastor and right in the foyer of our workplace, she gave her life to Christ, even after I told her I was not a Christian. I think she just accepted the honesty, and I think what was keeping her back is she thought that she had to be perfect when she came to
Exactly. And
Christ.
I think they do. And
No.
I think that's because Christians have, they have focused us on one verse.
Mm,
Jesus died on the cross for our sins.
that's
And
right.
that's it. But we don't have to know what Jesus went through to get there. We don't have to know what Jesus wanted us to understand and know, and we don't have to be perfect, because if you look at the Bible, if you understood it, he uses all the crazies to do the good things. And a lot of people don't realize that. I'm making the Kool-Aid as we type.
All right, let me catch up with some of these comments. I apologize, guys. If y'all wanted like the title to the stream would say what makes me tick, spiritual love for Christ is what makes me tick. Like I can talk 24/7 and never be tired of talking about it. You know what I mean? But I don't talk about him all the time because not everybody's ready to hear about who Jesus really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
but
think it's a matter of timing, and that's why we
mhm,
can't stop.
just like Beans, I still want to have that conversation with Beans with these cards.
I would love for you to have that conversation with Beans.
Well, I mean, later on, if the live goes a little bored, you know, maybe we can, if Beans is still on here, because all I got to do is ask him some questions. He can still participate from chat. So, he can
And he's
still.
at work, so I don't know.
Awesome. Awesome.
But but I mean, it is a good thought, and I would love to see that conversation.
Yeah, maybe you can do it on that StreamYard or whatever it is that you do where you have multiple people on.
Yeah, that would probably be, I don't even know if Tori's able to do that. I'm not going to be able to be on very, very late because I have to work tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. I totally understand.
I go in
Right.
at noon, so it's not like I got to be up at super early, but I can't be sleeping all day long, that's for sure.
Mhm. Let
God, Alvin, God's got you, brother,
me
cousin.
appreciate that. Let's see. Look, Beans is like, I'm all ears. Let's see. Hi, Miss Christina.
Would do what, Tori? Do what?
Let's see.
Okay, Justin. Does anybody
Somebody
have
said,
any questions for Alvin?
yeah, somebody asked about my daughter. She's got school tomorrow, so she's already in bed. And thank you, Miss Debbie. It's like I said, if you're subscribed to my community, once I start going live, you'll be able to hear the whole testimony from beginning to end. I think like the most powerful part of it is going to be the introduction. Um, the reason why in the 4 parts of that story I was talking about, um, you know, relating life to chess and how pawns, like somebody can choose to stop their life and, they call it abortion. I'm actually proof that doctors ain't always right because my mom when I was 6 months in the womb, she was told that I didn't have a heartbeat and it was an ultrasound machine that was trying to detect it. And doctor told her that she should get an abortion so she didn't have difficulty, um, you know, carrying a stillborn.
Good night, Debbie. Good night.
And she said that because of her faith in Christ, she wasn't a murderer. She don't care if it killed her carrying me to still, the birth. She was carrying me, and I ended up being born. The umbilical cord was wrapped around my throat, so I was blue, and the doctor was able to get me breathing. But here I am, 47 years old, and a doctor had told my mom that I had no quality of life. I was dead, but because of the name, a name, a simple name, Jesus Christ, saved my life. So I can't, you know, take my whole story and I just can't. The evidence is just too strong.
Yeah.
Good night,
Stay
Miss Debbie.
sugary. Does anybody have any questions for Alvin? My last question is with your channel. We need to get a link up for that. And I can't do that. Tori, are you able to do that? Alvin, I mean, Beans said you had the cord around your neck too, huh?
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
I'm gonna see if Tori can do that, Deb. Um, Tori Lynn, are you still there? Can you run and get the link from Alvin's channel? Um, what's your plans for your channel?
Uh, mm, I guess short version is I mean this may not make no sense because y'all haven't heard the whole story, but I'm looking for fence posts that aren't scared to put a light on top.
That's a good way to put it.
I mean, like
Me
it's
too, 3 times. I was purple, almost born with a Cutlass Supreme in a Cutlass Supreme.
hey, I had a purple and white one 86. I love that car.
Oh, there you go. Oh, there it is. There's the link to Alvin's channel there. Tori just posted it up.
Thank you, Miss Tori.
I'm pinning it now. Thank you, Tori. That is a link to Alvin's channel. If you have not, please do join his channel. Anyway, go ahead. What's your plan for your channel? Sorry. Do you have a
Um,
specific content you're thinking about making? Are you not sure? What are you thinking?
well, as far as like reels and stuff, I'm just going to share different parts of my life with like the pool world, and maybe if I do decide to get back into doing some side jobs, some things like that. I'm gonna try to save a lot of my lives for just discussions about what I plan to do with the Hope for Change. Love everyone you see. I want it to be like a total project. One day that if this ever like this channel ever makes any kind of funds, like 100% will be like it won't go to my pocket. Like 100% of anything that would get generated is going to go to the Hope for Change Foundation I like to build, and I would like to get it a part of, even if a church community won't get involved in it, I want it to get involved to where kids that live in lower income families, but their parents work just enough to pay the bills, as long as they're doing it good at school and they're coming in and showing good grades and progress. Don't even have the best grades, just showing progress that they're doing better and trying. That they can earn points to get clothes or shoes or game systems that kids get to play, but poor kids really can't afford to play. Um,
Is that what this foundation is? Tell us about that. What is it that you want it to be?
um, I want it to be kind of like a reset for a lot. You know what I mean? Because we get stuck in these vicious circles that once we do wrong, we can't do no right. And a lot of people are going into jails and not really getting the kind of structure they need to survive as a productive citizen. So when they come back out, they're getting into the same structured environments. And then I notice a lot of kids get pulled into that life because they don't have anything rewarding because their parents can't reward them the way they would want to. I mean, there's plenty of parents out there that would love to reward how good their kids are doing, but
Yeah,
they got
but
to
they're
keep the
just not
lights
able.
on. Yeah, got to keep the
Yeah.
lights on. Got to keep. But with a foundation like that being attached to a church community, then churches wouldn't have to strive so hard to get tithes in to help the community because this foundation will be drawing in the funds to support the things that they say they want to do. You know what I mean? Accountability for everybody to grow, and then an LLC called Laboring Hands will be a part of it that allow convicts that are coming out of either jail or pen or needing some kind of a job to get started will be around structured other like-minded spiritual people that want to see them grow and help them be a better person, help them realize talents maybe they don't recognize that they do have. You know what I mean? Like there's this guy Bob, and it's funny too because he was a builder and his name was Bob. So on my phone I had him as Bob the Builder.
Bob the Builder.
Yeah. But one time he kept calling me. I wasn't showing up because I was going through my depression thing. And one day I finally just went out there and talked to him. I was like, "Why do you keep calling? Why do you keep trying?" And he said, "Man, I love you. You're a good guy." He said, "I want to see you do good." And I didn't even know he was a Christian until that day. But he ended up showing me his cross that he had under his shirt, and that he was a pilot in the military. And one time there was a gentleman that was like losing it and was trying to get back home, so he shot himself, hoping that that would get him, discharged so he could go home. But the shot was fatal in his leg, and he bled out. And Mr. Bob never forgave himself for that.
Oh my
And
gosh.
but I told him that I think he did because I was going through some things, and he put the right person in my life in that moment to make me keep pushing further and not want to give up. And you know what I mean?
Alvin, hello there, stud muffin. Kevin says, "Hello, Kevin." And
Kevin.
Freeway said, "Alvin, your comment about my dreams the other night is spot on. Under spiritual warfare, so I'm fighting it back with God's goodness." And yeah, and he sent a really nice prayer that I think if you say that prayer as you go to sleep, that will help your mind to push back on some of that stuff. So definitely email me, Freeway Girl, so I can get that to you. It is detailgrandma at gmail.com. Very easy. And I'll send it back your way.
And it's all scriptures. Not one word in there is mine, except for in Jesus' name, amen. Like, but the rest of it, it's scriptural talk. None of it's my own thought, none of my own understanding. but it does speak on night terrors and sleep. So all scriptures.
That can be helpful for a lot of people. Anyway, didn't mean to interrupt you. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about as far as your channel, your life, any of that? We've got about 10 minutes left.
Um, no, actually, I mean, I'll just try to keep up and read with chat and see, what everybody's saying. That's the hardest part of it is talking and getting into it and then not really, being able to keep up with the chat.
It is. Kevin said, well, I can say the world is better with you in it, Alvin.
Well, thank you, sir.
Definitely.
Thank you.
I haven't really been paying attention to the comments myself. I try.
Thank you, MB. You have a blessed night as well if you've not already left.
Alvin. Hello, Nacho. We are visiting with Alvin. He's one of our group members. Hope for change. Love everyone you see. Is that what it is?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your shirt say?
It says we're all broken. That's how the light gets in.
Ah, I like that. I like that. Where are you getting these shirts?
Well, this one I got from I think it came off Temu. My wife and my daughter got it for me for my birthday. Uh, the
Oh,
other one,
okay.
the other one, the Hope for Change one, that was my one of my designs. I've got like 7 other ones. I just haven't got it all set up to where anything's going to be done with it yet. But I'm getting there.
Yeah,
It's he's
those
putting all
things
the right
take time. When I started the foundation after my daughter died, I mean, I went full bore.
people.
If I could, one thing that if I could change, if I could go back, one thing I would change is taking it slower, being
Mm.
able to focus on the programs and build in a more solid way. Um, I think a lot of the reason that we ran into trouble in the early days is because it was all over the place.
You're just winging it.
All over the place, we had I didn't know where to put t-shirts. I didn't know, of course nowadays it'd probably be better. You have a lot more options, and because this was 13 years ago, and I just let the foundation go. I let it expire on the 31st of December 2023, and so 2024 started an entirely new year without it. um Always nice to see a face with the name. Alvin has such a nice face and a smile too. Yeah.
Thank you, Freeway Girl.
But anyway, take it slow. If I have to give anybody advice, I would go off of my own regrets. COVID just pretty much did us in.
Yes, ma'am.
We had a company donate $6,000 that kept us afloat through the year of 2020. But when we come out of COVID, charity died. Everybody hated one another. Nobody was charitable. It was a flipping nightmare. Nobody cared about childhood cancer, which I already knew that anyway, because people will donate to animal causes 7 times more than they will causes,
Yes,
children's
ma'am.
causes. And so I already knew that anyway. But when we came out of COVID, it was a literal nightmare. And I just said, I do not want to be a part of that world. I'm not going to sit here and bust my butt. I tried my best at that point to just pay for it all myself. Um, and I went through a process where I had to stop going through to the funerals anyway. But I went through a process of healing, I guess, where I was like, I was not happy with it. All of it brought me down, and it was a personal battle that spawned that foundation. And so it was different. Um, it's not like where you're going into something where you can help a plethora of people. Me, it was focused on childhood cancer. So every time one of those kids was diagnosed, I relived it. When one died, I relived it. And it was just emotionally too much. And when I finally found that I could get away and I felt better, I finally said, you know what? And nobody wanted me to close that down.
So,
But it needed to be done. I think even in the end, they realized that it had to be something temporary.
so,
Um, I was the face of it. It wasn't going to do anything without my face. And oh, I thought she was saying something to you, but she's talking to MB. But anyway, um, if I have to give anybody advice who wants to go forward with a charity, just remember it's very difficult to raise money.
yes, ma'am.
People are not charitable anymore, even though it looks like they are, but they're not. Um, and you have to remember, those animals are much more important than any human being out here. Um, it's just a difficult, it's a difficult battle, but take it slow. And uh, anything you implement, make sure you build it with a solid foundation before you move to the next.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Sherry, you haven't met my brain yet. I will forget.
How you doing today, Miss Tori?
She said she couldn't sleep. She's probably getting ready to leave for work here in a little bit. She's tired.
Works on
She's,
Wednesday night?
huh?
He works on Wednesday nights?
No, she's covering a shift
Oh,
tonight. And, uh, and then she'll start her normal week after that.
yes.
So she's going to be tired.
Yeah, I understand. I just put in two 12-hour shifts Monday and Tuesday.
12-hour?
Yeah,
Why?
I went in at 6 p.m. Monday and Tuesday. The person was on second shift, got sick, so he called off. I want the overtime, so
I was going to say that's overtime though.
yeah, we got a $3,000 van bill that'll help nicely for her.
Got to go to Walmart, she says. Well, you better get that done. I'm over here sweating. I had a hot flash. This getting old stuff is for the birds. Okay, well, anybody have any last questions or comments for Alvin? Um, and we'll just kind of let him chit chat with you guys. Don't forget your drinks and snacks, Tori. Oh, I'm kidding. Does anybody have anything for Alvin? Yeah, I don't. I was. I was. That's the funny part. I was forced into menopause in 2005. You'd think I'd be able to handle it better, but no.
Nice to meet you too, Amber. That's actually nice to meet all you guys. Y'all help my Friday, Saturday, and Sunday be less so boring.
All I think. Well, it started out with the coloring. Speaking of, I have your address, and I just need to go check your thing. But Ben's sick, so it's sitting on the counter in there, ready to go.
I'm gonna go
Beans and Debbie never verified their addresses for me, so.
ahead.
But I do have it ready to go. I just need to get past this gunk. Um, anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I wanted everybody to get to know
You're welcome, Freeway Girl.
when everybody kept saying, bring Alvin on there, bring Alvin on there. And when this started, it was just basically a way to keep Tori Lynn awake. When we were coloring and all of that. And I've been wanting to get back into the coloring. Um, but I'm not, I have to do that when I'm fidgety and all of that good stuff. And,
Miss
but anyway, that's what it started out as. And it's just kind of built into a kind of a fun community kind of thing. And so when everybody was like, bring Alvin back, I'm like, okay. And maybe we can get some others to come on and we can do this every few weeks or so that
and yes,
everybody
ma'am.
gets to know everybody instead of just me and Tori.
Miss Nikki, I will for sure.
Prayers for Nikki. What happened?
Everything gets sorted out with what's going on with her flat. That's gonna be
Oh,
hard to
God.
get to remember, Miss Nikki. A flat, it's a
Huh?
house or
It's a house.
apartment.
Yeah. In the
Apartment.
UK, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Um, there's there's a whole lot of terms that they use over there, like a loo. I had no idea what that was. It's like a potty, a porta potty.
My night's
And
going good,
huh?
Miss Christina. I was just, my night's going good, Miss Christina. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Grandma.
Oh, okay. Grandma, I volunteer as tribute. As tribute?
I know you've seen that movie.
I don't watch movies, guys. That's why I'm so dumb. You guys can relate with Tori more than you can me on that. What does that mean? What's that movie?
Miss Amber,
Oh, I have no idea. I've never seen The Hunger Games. Never had an interest in that. No.
the actress of that is actually from Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Hi,
Hello,
Hannah.
Hannah. Yep, I don't know anything about it. Sorry.
But yes, Miss Christina, my night's going good. Been having a nice time with Grandma and the chat, talking a little bit about who I am. Hopefully, you'll volunteer to when she goes to choose some other people to come on and share who you are as well. Hope everybody does. I think that's a pretty cool idea.
It sucks. I haven't watched the whole thing, but that line turned into a viral meme. Okay, well, it went over my head.
What it is her sister had got picked to take on a challenge, and her uh, sister took it for her.
Ah, okay. I had no idea. I was like, what's a tribute? What are we tributing? Tributing? What is that? Tributing. Oh my God. This nose and dizziness. It's crazy. How you doing, Hannah? Are you having a good night? I know you've probably missed everything, but we've had a pretty interesting conversation with Alvin tonight. So when people ask for donations for breast cancer, my boobs volunteer as tribute.
That's what I forgot to answer. I do security work. I can't name the company because some kind of waiver we signed for that internet stuff. But I work for a security company. This June will be 4 years. I actually fell into it by accident because I had just started my own business doing construction and stuff when I busted my hand. And then I didn't know what I was going to do after that happened. And then there was a job opening at a security company. I come in and nobody wanted to work. So I was able to get like 70 to 81 hours a week. Loving that.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I was bringing home checks for like $1,300 a week. I was loving it.
dang.
Yeah, they cut that off real fast. But they made me an assistant supervisor for third shift for the longest, and then kept telling me that the person was on there, blah blah blah, whatever. One thing led to another, and they never made me a supervisor. So that's why I traded over to the trailer yard because I'm only responsible for myself there. I don't have nobody to, hold me back, nobody to get me in trouble and not doing their job or me expected to tell them how to do their job. They are grown men too. They signed the same contract I signed. I
Grown
can't help it.
men, some of them grown men are very, very, very immature.
Oh, we had one person fall asleep in a chair, and everybody gets their chair taken away, and we have to stand the whole 8 hours. Yeah, it's I got tired of that. But yeah, Beans, it's I do security. I like it. It's not bad. I feel like I got a retirement job, kind of like a door greeter at Walmart.
That's what I need. But I got a hotel job. It's about the same. Kind of the same. It's the same thing as Tori, only right now I'm just going to start. This particular company has two hotels here. One is True by Hilton, and the other one is Hampton Inn by Hilton. And I will eventually go to Hampton Inn. That's the plan. Who knows? I may say, let me stay here. I guess they both, just those kinds of jobs in general have a high turnover rate in a lot of cases. And I'm like, I don't know why, man. It's just a cushy job, but they can't handle them cushy jobs. I don't know why.
I like mine now. Like I beat my body so much from the time I was 15 till a couple of years ago. Like I used to be able to carry a Santa machine up 13 steps by myself. They weigh like 245 pounds.
Oh my goodness. Hello, Sarah. This
Can't
is
do it anymore.
Alvin.
Hi, Miss Sarah.
Yeah, it's work ethic. Yeah, you're right. The young people just they expect to get that paycheck. Well, why do I need to come to work for it?
It ain't the paycheck that gets on my nerves. It's the one that come in and want to step on the eighth or ninth rung of the ladder and ain't even stepped on the first one. Come
Yes,
on now. You
I
got
always
stumble
tell
and
them.
fall off that ladder just like I did.
I always tell them too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. That's what Burger King was all about. Way
Right?
too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. You
Yes, Miss Sarah.
too. You too, Sarah. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to let everybody get to know Alvin a little bit. Everybody's like, bring back Alvin. I mean, I can't even tell you what we saw it all weekend, the last 2 weekends.
Mm.
College kids would show up at my work. I want $60,000 right out of the gate for doing nothing with no experience. Please. Alvin, have you
No,
ever
Sean.
done package handling?
No, sir. No package handling at all. I tell you what, I've had a really wide eclectic jobs. Like I have been a janitor. I used to solder components on for the little radar detectors that they used to put on the back of trailers and buses that would determine how far away they was from backing up to something. Um, I've run metal lathe machines, all kinds of different construction work, plumbing, roofing, vinyl siding, decks, doors. Like I said, all kinds of electronic work. But I guess what they say, that jack of all trades and a master of nothing. But I think it's come in pretty handy. I ain't never had a day that I haven't been able to make some kind of money.
There you go. Yeah, I said hello to you, Christina, when Alvin did. Oh, you're just ignoring us. Okay. You playing a victim here now, ma'am? Huh? Huh?
She said, "Oh, my bad."
Jack of all trades, you say. Thanks for letting us get to know you more.
No
Definitely.
problem.
Thank you for coming on. I mean, I understand it's easy for me now. In the beginning, it wasn't. The beginning of my channel, I didn't even want my face on the camera. I did my best to shoot the camera towards door panels and the dashes and the carpets and not my face. I didn't
Mhm.
want my face on there. And then when I was told I needed to start going live, they all wanted podcasts, is what they wanted.
Right.
But everybody was doing a detailing podcast. And I was still on my journey. I had no business telling anybody what to do. I could only share what I learned, you know.
And that's what we're supposed to do. I mean, to be honest, at one time before I actually got to reading the Bible and get to have a little more understanding of it, I always thought we, the people, is what became new when it said like the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Like it says everything old becomes something new in the Bible. So I always thought that we as a human race was the tree of knowledge.
You don't
Like
think so?
I mean,
Yeah, I
I
think
guess
it makes sense.
metaphorically, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we could have been the whole knowledge of good and evil because we all do. We all have knowledge of good and evil from one root tree. So,
Alvin, did you
mm,
ever go to trade school?
no, I try to go to ITT. Like I was big into computer electronics for a while. Like when I was 15, my neighbor threw a radio in the garbage, and I opened it up, and like I seen the green board, my mind just went. And then I got into electronics for a while, and I went to ITT, and the teacher told me that they're going to make electronic components so cheap to buy that nobody's going to pay to have them, repaired. They'll just throw them in the garbage and buy new ones. That's probably the best advice I ever got. So I left ITT when it, and actually it was great advice because ITT ain't even accredited school no more. They was running some kind of big money scam. I got a check though
Uh,
from them for $17.83 in a
no.
lawsuit. Woo-woo.
Same here, Grandma. You and Tori helped me choose to be better. Good. Um, y'all, I'm barely awake. Sorry if I did or didn't reply.
But yes, to answer your question, Sean, no trade schools. Everything was uh, kinesthetic learning, like hands on.
Bellarmine,
Like a lot of people can do the visual, but I'm more kinesthetic. I like
Bellarmine,
to be a part
come up
of it
here.
and learn.
Get in your chair. Lay down. Antsy
But yeah,
dog. I can't figure. She's antsy because there was a one of the lots over here, catty corner from me. They're
uh-huh.
tearing up the old concrete and putting in new. And so today they tore out the old concrete, and that concrete it goes into the dump truck, and it makes a crash, and you could feel it in the house. And now she's all about freak out right now. Wouldn't sleep all day and now won't settle down. So I'm thinking about, but I'm scared to drive up there because I still get this dizziness because this drainage. Um, I ought to take her up to the shop and let her run around, but I'm just afraid to drive right now. I should be doing Uber, but no, I didn't want to
Yeah,
try and even fight that today.
that's good. If you don't feel it, don't do it.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
I'm like, no, I'm not even gonna try.
But yes, ma'am, that's what makes me tick. Spiritual talk about love. To be honest with you, just anything that can help somebody do better.
Well, we're grateful to have you a part of our community.
I'm glad to be a part
I
of it.
don't know how you found us, but I'm glad you did.
Uh, like I said, man, I got a feeling that this community is going to go a way different route than you had ever imagined when you started this, because you have that ability to make people see themselves and feel better about themselves, like a real grandma. You know what I mean? Like there's so many of us out there that don't know grandmas or ever had the grandma experience. So I promise you, your community is going to grow with a lot of helping people mentally.
I hope so. What cool accent you have, Alvin. I love it.
That's not an accident.
Freeway girl said.
Everybody sounds like it's around here.
Alvin question construction seems so hard, and I'm sure you are paid well for that. But when they lay people off for 3 months, do you get a paycheck when that happens?
I was the opposite. Like, I'm sure construction workers do make good money, but where I was self-employed, I didn't start a business to get rich or over be able to take care of my family financial. I went into it as it was something I always loved to do, and I knew what I needed for that day. You know what I mean? So if I did a job, like I didn't like, somebody come in, charge them $1,000, I would charge them $200 for the labor. As long as they pay for materials or whatever the cost of gas to get back and forth. Because $200 and it was a day's work, that was more than enough to take care of my family. I've never been greedy.
Sarah left a long comment. I'll let you read that.
Okay. But yeah, when you don't work, you don't eat. That's all I can tell you. But if you're off long enough, you can always file for unemployment.
I was
And
gonna say, as dump truck drivers, me and my other daughter, as dump truck drivers in the construction industry, and I was in and out of it for years. During layoff season, we get temporary unemployment.
yeah, yeah,
That's
that's
what
about
we
the only
did.
way you can eat. Like especially if you're like roofing and things like that. If it rains, you can't work. So if you don't get those hours, you don't get paid. Concrete, same way. That's the reason why I try. Hey, I tell you right now, that is one job that I will never do again in my entire life. Concrete workers are real men. Like I tried that, it beat me to death, and I would never do concrete again. That is a real man's job.
Yeah, Beans made a comment.
All right, hang on. Let me get you, Miss Sarah. Alvin's an undercover engineer over there pulling man's trash literally out of garbage and making it work again. That's an awesome story. You never know what you can inspire in the brain. It's facts. You know what I mean? Like, I believe that was the coolest thing about this whole entire journey is I got um, a whole bag full of words that are colorful that I can paint pictures with that aren't intellectual and make you feel dumb. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like people that use all those big words to explain something when a simple word will explain the same thing.
I've
But
been accused of that.
mm, I mean, it's a pet peeve of mine. Like, I mean, like not everybody, studies dictionaries.
Yeah, I've been accused of that, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I don't mean it.
Right. Like me, if you ever had a political night or even a religious night, I couldn't be involved in it because I don't know that lingo. Like I couldn't, like I don't understand religion aspects, and I do not understand politics. You know what I mean? I don't like. I've never been involved in that life. Okay, who had another question?
Sarah had another question.
Uh, have I thought about going back to school for
Computer
comp sci?
science.
Computer
Computer
science?
science.
Nuh-uh. Man, they are evolving way too fast. You know what I mean? Like if you ain't already in that game right now, there is no playing catch up. It's not possible. They're making something new every 4, 5, 6 months. Like you just can't keep up with it.
No, you have to be able to grow with the industry, and if you're not in the right area, it's not going to do you any good.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh
Alvin
God,
totally joking, but it reminds me of Boomer.
do what?
Beans, he said Alvin, totally joking, but it reminds me of Boomer.
All right. Well, guys, it's been an hour and a half. I've had him on for an hour and 15 minutes. Thanks for hanging out with me, Alvin, and letting these people get to know you a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
This will kind of help everybody kind of gain. I think if we get people on the live, which I know, like I said earlier, it's not easy, it takes time
Yes, ma'am.
to build a confidence. To be able to be online on a camera on a live like this. But luckily, we only made it. Our highest peak was 22 that I saw, so it wasn't that bad. That
Good.
wasn't that bad.
Good.
Anyway, um, if you can get on and let us get to know you, that helps to build the community.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, No, we don't have to all have each other's phone numbers and be all up in everybody's business. But in those, Sarah said, senior computer science now. You can do it if you want. Thanks for sharing, Alvin. Take care. But anyway, I think it just kind of helps build the community. You know who you're talking to. You get to know that person in comments, but it kind of helps. And it's kind of nice for me. That's why bringing Tori on, y'all get to know her. And then it's not always the focus on me. And then they get you on and Beans on, and they can learn about who they are, and the focus is not all on me. And I'm not a big fan of that, but that's just me.
Yes, ma'am.
But if I wanted to grow my channel, there were certain things I had to learn to do. And so I did. And that'll be something for you you'll learn. You'll be talking to those lives with nobody on them and things like that. I woke up and Nikki went live and had like 9 people in her hour or so, and I'm like, oh, it is so rough in the beginning. It really is.
Yes, ma'am.
So, but anyway, thanks for hanging out with me.
You're
And
very welcome.
everybody, we will be back around 11, that 11 o'clock hour. Tori will be going to work, and then we'll be back. I'll be back for a little while, but I won't be on all night long like I was before. So that's just because I need to be up to go to that new job tomorrow. My focus is normally on Beans. Oh, we already read that one. So everybody have a good
You're
night. Thank you again, Alvin. I appreciate
very
it.
welcome, Grandma. Thanks for letting me talk with y'all for a little bit.
You're welcome. You're welcome anytime. And you all have a good night. I'll let you all say your good nights to Alvin.
Good night,
But I'm
everybody.
sure I don't know. I will. It's Wednesday, so you probably won't be with us overnight. But we'll see you in a couple of days, I imagine, right?
Bye, Christina. Yes, ma'am. I'll see y'all on Friday.
Okay, there you go. All right, everybody. We'll see. Me and Tori will see you in a little while, and Alvin will see you in a couple of days.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Have a good one.
right. Peace, everybody.
Peace.